Hi everyone, welcome to the video. So you join me today on the BAA section that's known as Stanley on the website and in the BAA guidebook. Now this section is more commonly known as Coombys Farm, just south of Highley. What we're going to do today is show you how to access this section. We'll show you where to park. I'll show you some of the pegs on the upstream side. We'll then get some lines in the water. The Severn's behind me there, and hopefully we'll catch ourselves one or two barbel. So the Coombys Farm section is quite easy to find. I'll put the nearest postcode and what 3 words location on screen for you. If you take the B4555 out of Highley and follow that down in a southbound direction, just before you get to a 90-degree right-hand bend, you'll see the Coombys Farm entrance on your left-hand side. Make your way through there, round to the right, through a couple of double gates. There is a sign there to say private, no access, but you can make your way past that. Follow the track round there, and eventually it comes down to a T-junction. You need to bear round to the right there, follow that track down. It's probably about a quarter of a mile, and it'll bring you down to a crossing across the Severn Valley Railway. Just make your way over there, and the car park is almost sort of straight opposite, maybe 11 o'clock direction. There is a BAA sign in the car park to tell you where you need to park. There's room there for about 3 cars, 4 cars maybe. There is an overflow area around to the right hand side towards a barn. So once you're parked up and you've got your gear together, just follow this track out the side of the car park, just down towards this cottage at the bottom. There is a chain across because it's private property, but just on the left hand side here, there's a gate that takes you into the meadow. So just make your way through here. So we've got a pathway to the left, which is the upstream side of the Coombys Farm section, and then a pathway on the right that takes you to the downstream section. So just because of time today, we're going to focus on the upstream side only. We've probably got a good mile in both directions with pegs all the way along the river, upstream and downstream. It's a lovely section, easy under feet, nice steady path here. There is some element of elevation just back to the car park, just to be aware of, but in general it's easy walking, nice and flat once you're down on the riverbank here in the meadow, and easy to access. So here's the first peg on the upstream side to take a look at. Got a nice little path down to the water's edge there, some slack water out in front, tree on the downstream side there. Make a really nice floodwater peg in winter, that one. Back up onto the path, so it's a nice steady walk in between pegs here. Next peg's not too far away. So just down here on the right hand side, you've got a really nice crease line here. So you've got some debris, branch, tree, whatever it is over there, creating this crease that's coming across here. Again, there's more slack water on the inside there, so bet you another good autumn, late year peg here, but you can just imagine there'll be some barbel knocking around in that water out there. So this is the last peg in the first upstream meadow. Got a nice open area here, looks like it's being fished quite consistently, this one. Got a big open area river to go at. Loads of room here. You can see why this is probably reasonably popular. Whether it holds any fish or not's another thing, but nice steady pace on the river. There's no major features or crease lines or anything. There's just good pace on it by the look of it. So could well be a decent summer peg, this. So let's head into the next meadow along. There are some horses in here normally, so make sure we keep that gate shut. First peg there, it's quite a steep one, that is. Probably not going to get fished too much, that one, because you probably need a rope in there. as you can see straight ahead, it's really open, really flat, dead easy to walk along here. It's one of the more accessible stretches. Another peg there. I'm not going to go down to the water's edge on every one of these to show you, because we'll be here all day doing this otherwise. There's a 7, looking terrific. Turbulent water out in front of that peg there. Nice pace to it though, which is just what you want in summer. So there's probably a good half a mile easily that you can walk down here into the distance. I'm not going to go all the way. We'll show you a couple more pegs here. Single rod peg there probably, but next peg's not too far away. You've got a nice crease line there mid-river on that peg. Plenty of colour in the 7, as you can see. Nice chocolate brown colour. Then there's another peg here on the right hand side. So if you're fishing with a few mates, you can get together here. You could probably double up in that last peg that I showed you in the first meadow, because there's that much water to go out there. Got some shallows, some rocks in the water over there that's creating a feature. Looks like a slower, deeper section here. And then the path goes on for a long way down there. Horses have been busy. I'm not going to walk all the way down the bottom though, but just panning the camera around. It's not taking us too long to walk down here, probably about a third of the way down this second meadow. There's loads of pegs to go at here, lots of choice. Probably the biggest restriction on the section is getting parked actually up in the car park, but there's probably room up there for 8 or 10 cars, something like that, including the overflow area. But there's loads of choice. I'm going to now head back to the van, get some gear together. I may well go into that first meadow, last peg, I think, that big open one just to start with, and then we'll see how we get along there. Plenty of choice in this second meadow. We'll move up here later in the session. Well, hopefully that was a useful insight into the BAA section here at Coombys farm, just to give you an idea about what this one's all about. I'm going to make my way back to the van now, get some gear together, get back down onto the banks of the Severn, into a peg. I've got a few hours now, and hopefully we can get ourselves a couple of barbel over the rest of the afternoon. Well, that's the gear from the van. And yeah, I am going to start the session in this last peg on the first meadow. On the upstream side, got loads of water to go out there. Let's get set up, get some lines in the water. So here's a look at the water out in front of us today. Nice big open stretch to go at. It is quite shallow down this near side margin here, so we're going to leave that alone. Got a cattle drink on the far side there. Upstream rod is going in line with this dead tree on the far margin. And then the downstream rod just a bit further out. You can just see where this turbulent area of water starts over there. It's not snaggy. I've had a good few casts and it's nice and smooth gravel on the bottom. So we're just going to bait up about a third of the way across in these two areas here. Just see if we can pull a few fish into the swim. Get the session started here. Well, first bite on the upstream rod. Couple of good bangs there. Fish has come right into the near side margin, which you would think because of that it's a chub, but I'm pretty sure it's a barbel. It's not a massive one, but yeah, it's right under my feet here. The bank's slightly undercut here. Just got to be careful though, because the line's wrapped around one of its fins. I think it's just pinged off though. Yeah, look at that. Hook length just caught right on the tip of its dorsal. Get in the net, mate. Yes. First one of the session. Whoa, what start that is. Well, that's a lovely start to the session. Upstream rod, 5 or 10 minutes in. Typical long and lean 7 barbel. Lively little fella, this one. There we go. Nothing huge, but lovely shape to its fins, dorsal up. Nice sharp pointy tail there. On the pellet, upstream rod. Great way to start. Well, always good to get a quick first bite on the session. I haven't got my gear sorted down here just yet, but nice little barbel there, nothing huge, £6, something like that. Thought it was nailed on to be a chub the way it kind of like ripped straight into the near side margin, but a couple of powerful lunges gave the game away. Nice to have got the session off to a positive start. The last video was a blank, so it's always good to get one in the first 10 minutes or so. Just vindicates you're in the right area. Sun's coming out behind us. It's a lovely afternoon. So we're going to keep the recasts going every 10 minutes or so early in the session, just to keep a line of bait going down the area I'm targeting about a third of the way out, as I mentioned before. What I do as the session progresses, I just back off the time in between each cast just to allow the swim to settle. But normally first hour or so every 10 minutes, and then as the session progresses I'll just phase it to sort of 15-20 minute rechuck periods, just to allow the fish to be comfortable in the swim with that feeder kind of crashing in around them. I don't think it spooks them too much, to be honest, because the amount of early bites I get in a session tells me that. We've had one here within 10 minutes and that was on the second cast there, so it couldn't have spooked sort of fish that are out there in the area. It's probably doing the opposite, intrigue. They can smell the scent in the water. It's pulling them in to have a look what's going on. That's enough waffle from me for now anyway. Rods are out. I'm going to tidy up. Fingers crossed the next bite's not too far away. Well, this is nothing huge, but it's worth a look. Lovely 7 chub. Taking a taste of that pellet there on the upstream rod. Let's get this dude back in the edge. Get that rod back in. So that's the rod back out on the spot now after that last chub bite. Both bites so far on the upstream rod. Just gonna, on the next recast, tighten the downstream rod a little bit, just to narrow the separation between the two rods, just to see if we can bring that one into play. I'm going to stick at this peg probably for about another hour, hour and a half, something like that, just to see if another barbel materialises. If it doesn't, we'll have a quick pack down and probably move into the next meadow upstream. Now, since I've been here over the last hour or so, there are a couple of guys that have gone up there, so some of those pegs that were free when we did the walk round at the start of the video might now be taken. So I'm going to just leave the gear here quickly. It's nice and safe here, there's nobody about. Just quickly 300-400 yards into the next meadow, just have a look what's free, and if there's a decent light looking peg up there, we'll make the move and spend a few hours over the rest of the afternoon in the next meadow. Well, here's a curveball I wasn't expecting. I was just about to pack down and make the move into the next meadow, and I've just had a phone call off the wife. A couple of days ago, I promised my lad I'd take him for a haircut, and he really wants to go because he's got something on at school tomorrow. So I've completely forgotten about it. Don't want to let him down, so I'm going to have a quick pack down now, get back to the van, get myself home, sort that out, and I'm going to come pack at first light tomorrow morning, fish the next meadow, and complete this video then. Well, we're back at it again. It's a gorgeous fresh morning. First light on the Severn. So just coming up to the peg that I fished yesterday afternoon. Can't pick a bit first light. We're going to give that one a miss though. Head up into the next meadow. Let's get through the gate. So I need an extra pair of hands. Perfect. So there's about 3 pegs in the middle of this second upstream meadow that I'm probably going to consider getting on. There's one I've not fished for a couple of years that's got, it did have some stones that created some faster moving water. I think it's this one here. So let's just nip down here. So just about mid-water. It's pretty slippy under feet this morning. Feels like an autumn's morning. Yeah, that's it. So just out there, about mid-water, there's a crease line that comes off some shallows on the upstream side. There's a couple of decent sized rocks in the water there that create a crease with some faster moving water, and that's a natural spot that the fish tend to hold up. So bucket is going in here. Let's get the gear off. So I'm not going to be lugging that any further than I have to. So I've got rucksack, rod bag, Korum Aeronium chair and my bait bucket. Yeah, this looks all right. Well, we have got ourselves a chublet to get started. Definitely a chublet. That is tiny. Let's get it unhooked and straight back. Yeah, we are away. Upstream rod. This feels a more powerful fish. We've got the line singing a little bit this morning. So this fish is probably like 3 rod lengths out now, just in this near side margin. It's a nice little barbel, nothing huge. Yeah, it is quite small actually, but it will do as a starter. Yeah, there we go. Great start. There we go. Probably scraping about £4, I'd say, something like that. Happy with that though, to get the session underway. Let's get this dude back in the edge for a rest. Get that rod back out on the spot. Well, that's a great start to this morning. 15 to 20 minutes in. First barbel bite there on the upstream rod. I've very quickly got it back out on the spot. The light's just starting to come up and you can start to make out some of that faster moving water there behind me. It's a gorgeous morning. Birds singing in the background. Trickle of the water. Hopefully there's 1 or 2 more barbel bites out there for us yet. So the approach today is really nice and simple. Got these 14mm pellets that I've got on the hair. Got the matching ground bait there with some of the 4 and 6mm pellets mixed in. Just keep the cast going nice and frequently. Top the swim up. Get it in the fast moving water, which is what the barbel want in the summer. And if they're there and they're hungry, a very simple feeder approach like that will get you bites. Always good to get a bite on both rods quite early. Definitely good for confidence. I'm gradually sliding on the bank here. Come on, Mr. Barbel. Yeah, there we go. It's probably a tad bigger than the first one, but very welcome. Just what we were looking for this morning. This dude's ready to get going. There we go. Well, second barbel's gone back. Feeder is reloaded. Sun's just starting to break through. That's it, rod back out on the spot. Good times. So that's the second barbel of the morning, gone back. Got both rods back out on the spot. I wound the upstream rod in whilst I was dealing with that barbel on the bank there, just to be safe. The sun just behind the trees there is just starting to cut through, so the light levels are changing. You can really see the colour in the Severn this morning. It's rained quite a lot over the last sort of 2 or 3 days, so the level's not really fluctuated a great deal. It's maybe gone up by 5-10 centimetres, nothing massive, but there is a nice bit of colour in the water. So there we go, there's the next bite. Let's put the camera down and deal with that. Well, well, well. Just recording a little update there. And the upstream rod has burst into life. I think I've dropped my camera in the sand behind me, but we'll fix that in a minute. Let's wait till this barbel's ready. Let him get his head up. Here we go. And glimpse at the net there, and it's kicked off again, but it's not far off being ready now. Yep, there we go. Third one in the net, happy days. So there's that third barbel, all rested up in the net. And off we go. Well, I'm gradually, bit by bit, getting covered in sand. The rod is ready to go back out though, so let's get it back out on the spot. Just taking my time to look after that third barbel there. It's just gone back. Perfect. So that's the upstream rod just into the edge of that faster moving water there. That's gone down really nice. So pay out a little bit of slack line there. Great bit of sport this morning, but this sand is a bit of a nightmare in this peg. It's going to be a right clean up exercise when we get back tonight. It's getting a bit claggy as well, sticky under feet. Right, let's leave them to soak there. Rods are out. Probably going to fish for maybe a couple of hours more, I think, something like that. Been a lovely morning's action so far. Light levels are definitely a lot brighter now, but still a good chance of one or two more yet. So it's got quite a bit brighter over the last half an hour or so. It's probably been 45-50 minutes since we last had a bite. I'm just going to change the presentation just to scale it down a little. Couple of 8mm pellets there, hair rigged, size 8 wide gape on a 10-pound fluorocarbon knotless knot style presentation. See if that spurs them on a little bit to get back on the feed on a smaller presentation. Might be that bigger 14mm pellet. Now it's a lot brighter, is just putting them off. So let's get this rod back out. The downstream rod has tore off and this fish is making its way upstream. Just got to be careful here because it's past the line of the upstream rod. Still making its way upstream. Wow, that was a bit of a mission, that was. That charged off. Lovely bend in the rod. Sun's getting bright in my eyes now. But when we're playing a barbel, who cares about that? Yeah, there we go. Well, here we go. Just dropped this fella on the scales very quickly, just over 8 pounds. Biggest one of the session so far. Scaling down to those 2 8mm pellets has got us back in the bites again on the downstream rod. What a cracker that is. Well, that was a nice little change up there. I'm glad I made that that decision there, just to flick over to the 2 8mm in line, just to scale the presentation down. First 3 bites come nice and quickly, but there was a definite change in the light levels, and 45-50 minutes, as I mentioned, had passed without any further action. So it just felt like something needed to give a little bit there, just for us to get back in the game as such, and just to kind of regain the confidence of the fish out there. So that bite come within about 10 or 15 minutes of making the change. So both rods are now on the 8mm, up with the same presentation. I'm going to probably be staying for about another hour to an hour and a half, something like that. So unfortunately, it's not a full day's fishing for me. It's very rarely that I can get that, but we'll hopefully have a chance of 1 or 2 more yet. It's been a cracking morning regardless. Really glad that I made a decision to come back after yesterday's faux pas, so hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 more yet. It's coming up to about 9:30 now. No bites for the last hour. I haven't got long left now, not enough time for a mover swim, but it does look like I've had the best of it, unfortunately, now this morning. But I'm going to give it probably till just around 10 o'clock. Let's give it half an hour more, just see if we can eke 1 more out. Always pays to get to the bank at first light if you can. Well, it's all about the downstream rod at the minute. A little solid take there. No doubting that was a bite. Straight over. Now, this one's not charged off upstream like the last one. It's just holding at the minute. A few head taps. Just make sure we've got that clutch set properly. All my gear is absolutely covered in sand. We have a right good tidy up needed tonight. We'll deal with that a bit later on. For right now, let's deal with this barbel first. Fairly sure it's a barbel. It's not charging around like the last one, but feels pretty solid. Not good planning with a net there. Put that way too far to the side, but And this one's definitely woke up now. Just charged off a few overhanging branches here off this tree that are in the water. It's just trying to get down there. That's it already now. Yeah. So there we are. Downstream rod again. Those couple of 8mm spicy Frankfurter flavoured pellets. Just the job. Well, the fun's over, I'm afraid, for me for today, so hope you've enjoyed that video. That's been a great morning's fishing there. Good head of barbel from BAA Coombys farm here. Hope you've enjoyed the venue guides. Definitely come and pay it a visit if you've not been before. It's a cracking section of river. BAA ticket, £40 a year. Absolute no-brainer, as I've said quite a few times before. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and also if you've enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel if you want to. That would really help me if so. Thanks very much for watching. Good luck with your own fishing, and I'll see you on the next one again very soon.